how would you rate the start to the season?
I've been pleased with us for the start of the season. The international break probably. There's part of an international break which you like, some more work, but obviously players going away as well. But I think generally the start of the season I've been really pleased with us. I think we've been very competitive, had some tough fixtures. Coming off the back of a good performance away as well at United, where we narrowly missed out on a point there in the dying bits. But overall pleased.
Have you got any of those frustrations from that game out of your system now, do you feel?
I think like anything, there's always a frustration when you're that close, and the way the dynamics of the game went, really, we get ourselves back into the game, and then the conceded goal, the character we showed to get then at 2-2, and obviously in the dying minutes, obviously to concede a penalty and lose the game, there was a lot of frustration there. I said it after the game, I was immensely proud of the group. It was a difficult place for us to go, a new environment for a lot of these players as well, and I thought we were a better version of ourselves than what we were at Spurs at times. So, that frustration's out.
And the big question for Sunday, how do you beat Liverpool?
It's a big question for everyone. Everyone you're playing against an elite world-class team with numerous players in their team are obviously world-class talent. So we understand the challenge. As always, it's a 90-minute game of football, and we'll go and give the best version ourselves. We're going to need a lot of things to go our way. We understand that, but we're relishing this opportunity like we have done at the start of this season. I think that's been the main theme for us, really, in terms of relishing these opportunities, going up against the best. And no doubt we're going up against an extremely good team, which we've seen over many years now. So, we're looking forward to it.
And just finally, could you give us an insight on any team news injury-wise? Is everything okay with the players at the moment?
Yeah, team news, we're fine, really. We are where we have been, really. All players come back fit and healthy from international break. So we're pretty solid there.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice one. I just wanted to give us an idea of how much work goes into the tactical plan for a game like this against elite opposition.
Well, the tactical plan, the work that goes into any tactical plan, there's a lot of work which starts really early in the process, really. So that work is no different. There's different elements to different teams, and whether you're in the Championship or in the Premier League as a coach, and you're always looking at the tactical element and preparing the side best for that. And that work starts very early on in the week, where you're trying to identify certain things, you're trying to express them areas to the team and the players. No doubt that Liverpool and teams of that ilk can cause you more problems. It's a fluid team with some real quality. And there's probably a few more things you may need to be aware of. But for large parts, the tactical element of any game, the work probably stays very, very consistent. Just what problems one team may cause you, really.
They've obviously spent a vast amount of money over the summer. I just wondered, for a manager, for a coach, do you relish the challenge of trying to get the better of an elite squad?
I don't know. I think just as a group, really, just as a team and as an organisation, we're going up against, like I said, a very good side. So I don't think it's me personally wanting to get over on my opposition. I think as a group here, we realise a challenge, and every game we go into, we want to try and bring the best version of ourselves, really. So I think that's the main concept around what we want to do.
Even though they've had a great start, of course, perfect start, but in each game they have shown at least some vulnerability during games. Does that give you some hope, really, and something to work on ahead of the game?
Well, yeah, like anything, we need to be at our optimum. We need to execute where we need to execute, and we need to bring the game at certain moments and make Liverpool feel uncomfortable. So, like I've said, we're playing against a well-drilled team that have been together for some time and added quality, like you mentioned, really. So, I think the main thing for us is understanding what we need to bring to this game at the weekend, in our home stadium with our home fans, and hopefully we can lay a glove on that.
Yeah. Is that key with that home advantage with your own supporters, with it making it difficult for Liverpool? Yeah,
I think that goes for us as a group, me, us coaches, and us as a team, and then also our home fans. For sure, we need to we need to bring a real intensity in certain moments about us, and our supporters this weekend, like there will be for large parts or for the majority of this season, can give us that help as well. So no doubt they're looking forward to this game and the task ahead, and yeah, they're going to be right behind us at the weekend. Cheers.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, mate.
Feels like a long time no see, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's do a couple of Burnley questions, shall we? We haven't seen you since deadline day. You made that signing of Florentino Luis. Tell us about him and what he's going to bring, and I guess how easy or difficult it is to integrate somebody when he comes straight into an international break.
Yeah. I think the good thing is obviously Tino's come in and wasn't away with international, so he's had probably about a week, 10 days with us. Tino was a player I wanted to sign when I was at Fulham some years ago. He's always been on the radar, played against him a couple of times and has always stood out to me and probably been a bit of a nemesis to me, to be fair. So we've signed a very good player, someone who I think has got real attributes for the Premier League as well, with vast experience, played in the arena and played at a serious level. So he brings not just his quality, just the experience. I'm really looking forward to working with him. I think he could be a big addition for us and a big plus point for what we do.
When you're looking at that recruitment, I guess particularly when it's somebody you've been looking at for some time, is it about this guy improves what we've got? It might not necessarily be a position I was targeting in the first place, but he comes available and I say, let's have him because he'll make us better. Yeah,
look, I think I mentioned that a week leading into the end of that window when you guys were asking me about players in, what's the situation, and I stood on a ground which was, I don't want to just bring players in for the sake of bringing players in. We need to bring in quality players that can add to the squad, players that can improve us, and Tino definitely ticks that box really. So yeah, I'm pleased with that.
I remember sitting here, probably second press conference last year when you'd just taken over and you said, I've got about 50 players and there's all these changes that I need to make. You've kind of had to rebalance again, haven't you? There's been a few go out. Are you content with the numbers? Would you have perhaps liked to trim it a bit more in an ideal world?
I think in an ideal world, definitely. We've still got a big squad, and I have to try and manage that to the best we can manage that really. So, like always, the dynamics of transfer windows, players leaving, players coming in, there's always loads and loads of variables what you're trying to manage as a football club, as a manager and as players really. So yeah, in an ideal world, of course, you'd probably like it a little bit more stream, just certainly in terms of controlling and managing them situations, but it is what it is.
Have you therefore got good competition? Is that the other side of it? If you've got decent numbers, you've probably got good competition. Yeah,
definitely. We've got very good competition, and at the end of the day, the hardest job as a manager at times is naming a squad of 18 on a Saturday, and there's people disappointed in that, and we've certainly got that. So it's a long season. Injuries no doubt will come our way a little bit as well, while we don't like that. So we're going to need every bit of this squad, and we're going to need to use that. And the element of obviously that competition is vital for a professional athlete. I experienced that as a player myself. There's no better than when you have that real competition, knowing where you need to be at your optimum constantly because there's someone pushing right behind really. So I feel we've got that.
Just the bigger picture stuff of being in the Premier League. I wonder how different is it? You've had that first block of games. Obviously you've managed here before. You've played here before. It's actually not that long ago that you were playing in the Premier League, is it? But how much does it move on? How different is it from your perspective as the head coach to, say, the Championship last season? And I mean, maybe not just that there's more than me and Matt in the room talking to you before the game.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a huge difference in what you highlight there in terms of this situation, but in terms of the levels, there's a massive difference. And I also think there's a massive difference in the Premier League and the way the Premier League's going and the trends, what you're probably seeing in the Premier League. It's a league that moves very, very quickly. And where it was last time I was in it is probably a little bit different now. So yeah, you got to evolve. You got to stay on top of that. You got to work the trends out and see where that's going a little bit and work out how we can be competitive this year and try and bring the best version of ourselves constantly, really. And yeah, there's obviously big differences.
I think everyone knows how hard it is. I wonder whether it's enjoyable. It didn't look like you enjoyed it much at Old Trafford.
No, I did. I did enjoy it. I didn't on the first 20 odd minutes. I don't think any of us enjoyed, and I include the players for that on the pitch. But like I always say to this group, this is it. In certain moments, in certain games, it becomes uncomfortable, and we need to be comfortable at times being in them situations, and that's the cold hard fact. So you can dress this up as much as you want. The likelihood of us of dominating games from the minute the whistle goes to the minute whistle ends is very unlikely, and that would have been the same for last year. But yeah, walking out Old Trafford last weekend was everything what we wanted to be and what we wanted to do. We're going to relish this opportunity. Like I keep saying to you, we're going to go and tackle this challenge with pure excitement and courage, and that's exactly what we'll do.
Is it important that this weekend, after Sunday's game, we're talking about the brilliance of one of the teams or a moment in the game or a fantastic goal, rather than, I think you said, a guy making decisions from 100 miles away and VAR and all the controversy that comes with it?
Well, hopefully, but while that's in play, there's every chance that might not be the case, really. So, yeah, that was just my opinion on it, and that's just how I sit with that. Whether it's good or bad, I'm just talking about the raw emotion of the game sometimes, and how sometimes it makes the game feel. And yeah, that's just my personal view on it, really.
And I guess that must be very different. In the Championship, you score a goal and you can celebrate it.
Yeah, very, very different. And it's very different to, like we said, the world's changing so quick. And the Premier League that I last managed in, there wasn't gadgets in like we have now. When I was certainly playing, that wasn't the case, but now there is. The Premier League's moving very, very quick, and you know, we all need to adapt to that, which we do, really. Whether we like it or not is really irrelevant. I need to get used to it.
And just lastly, I tell you all the time about not having lost a game at Turf Moor as Burnley manager. It'll be a tall order to keep that going.
Be a tall order. We'll try and keep that going. It'll be a tall order. Look, all I ask of this group and all I ask of us as a whole football club, really, we embrace this weekend. We give the best version of ourselves. We go into this game showing our quality, showing fight, showing real bravery, a control in certain moments, in how composed we are, in what the game demands of us at certain times, and a real courage. We need to have unbelievable courage this weekend, bravery beyond, and for that, as always, you can win and lose football matches, but if my group give me that, and I know they will, you know, as always, I'll be more than happy.
Thank you, sir. All the best.
Cheers, pal.
We can turn the camera.